Hi, Kevin here. Welcome to the Claremont Classic Garage. We got a little thing here to do today. We're going to show you and a couple other little things to do. Not too much going on. It's a nice day. I got a fire going outside. We're going to barbecue some hot dogs on the fire barrel and hack around with a few little things in here. So let me show you what we've got going. So this big box came in the mail today. I wonder what it could be. Let's open it up and see what's inside. This is something I've been looking for years, and when one popped up on eBay for a reasonable price, not the outrageous price that they're usually asking for them, I pounced on it. I was lucky. I saw it like minutes after the fella had listed it, and I bought it right away. Let's see what we got here. What could be in this gigantic box? Anybody that knew me when I was a teenager in Guildwood will remember this thing. Oh, it's got all the foam balls in it. Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotta cut this bubble wrap. Hang on. This here is a Sanyo M9927K boombox. My dad bought me one of these when I turned 16, and it went everywhere with me. In those days, cars only had AM radios in them, so we would strap this thing in the back seat of my dad's car and cruise around with it. I went through 10 million D batteries when I was a kid. So on first inspection, it looks like it could definitely use a new antenna. We can fix that up there around, but the battery door is there. It's dirty and beat up, but so is my old one. This one that I had played for years and years and years and years. And when I grew up and got a job and got married and bought my own house, I still had this thing. And it played in my garage nonstop, forever and ever and ever. And then, when we moved up here to Uxbridge, I brought it with me and had it set up out here in the shop, but it just wasn't loud enough for this big space. So we got a home theater receiver to put in here. Finally, one day it just stopped playing and it was dead. So it is what it is. But I also see the button for the reset knob on the tape deck is missing. I really don't care about that. So we're going to see if this thing actually works or not, and we'll go from there. First thing we'll do is get the cord out and plug it in. While the radio works, let's pop a tape in it and see what happens. So we have to switch this to tape, and we'll hit play. No, let's rewind. Play. Sounds like it needs a belt. I don't care about that. Oh, Christ. Look at that. It ate my tape. Anyway, I'm not concerned with those couple of little issues. For what I paid for this thing, I'm a happy guy. There's something here wrong with the pause button. The pause button seems to make the tape eject. But I'm going to buy a replacement antenna. And we will see if we can find a new belt for it. And I'll open it up and I'll service it all up inside. I used to take my old one apart all the time. These come apart quite easily. And this can ride around with me in my old car like it used to. I'm so happy. On to the next job. Next job we got to do, we got two old carts here that got flat tires. They need inner tubes. I've already tried blowing them up. I think it's this one. Yeah, the left one on this one. And the right one on this one. I already went and bought 2 new inner tubes. So I'll go ahead and change them. One is easy. This one, because it's got the 2-piece wheel held together with screws. This one, not so easy. It's got a plastic wheel, so we'll have to actually remove the tire and do it that way. So let's get started. So this one with the 2-piece wheel is great. We don't even have to take the wheel off. We're just going to take these 4 nuts and bolts out, and then this half of the wheel will come off with the tire, the tube inside it. We'll swap out the tube, put it back together, blow it up, and this one will be back in business in minutes. It's easy peasy. We took the 4 bolts out. There's our tire with the half wheel and the tube inside it. So you just pull that. Oh, we got to take the valve stem cap off. Pull that out. Take that out. This will still have a little bit of air in it. Well, we'll just pull the tube out and see if we can see anything obvious why it keeps going flat. So I got the tube out and blew it back up, and I don't really see anything jumping out at me. I don't hear anything leaking. It does have one existing patch on it, but oh, there, right there, look. There's a tiny little nick in it there. Although I don't feel air coming out of it, but we'll water test it later. But for now, we're going to check the inside of the tire and make sure there's nothing in there that could be poking this tube. And then we'll put the new tube in and put her back together. Okay, so here's our new tube. It's a decent one. At least it's got a brass valve stem with the angle on it. So that's nice. That should work out. That should work out pretty well. So we're going to stuff it into the tire, then get our rim in, pop this thing back together, and we should be back in business. Okay, so we got that molded together. Now, what's important when you put this thing back together is to make sure that the tube doesn't get pinched between the two parts of the rim, because that'll result in another puncture. So we're gonna get this back together and see how it works out. All right, so we got it all put back together. Got my handy dandy tire inflator here, and it says to blow this puppy up to 30 psi. So that's what we're gonna do. Nice and easy. Well, it's gonna take 2 hands. Hang on. Okay, there we go. 30 psi in it, all fixed up. Happy, happy. It can go back in the shed. Okay, so here's the next one. I managed to get it off the cart. These aren't too bad. You just get a couple of screwdrivers and you pry it off the wheel. Alright, so we got her apart pretty easily. Again, I've blown up this one and there's no appreciable signs of leakage. So we'll put it over here with the other one and see what happens. Now this one would go down faster than this one. This one would take a couple of weeks to go down. But, well, we got a new one here, so we'll put that in and we'll see if we make it better. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is to use a valve fishing tool and put that through and pull the valve stem through, but of course the hole isn't big enough in the wheel, so we'll have to drill that out. Stand by. Okay, so far so good. We've got the tube stuffed in there. All we got to do is get this bead over the wheel. Now you got to be really careful when you start doing this with these old screwdrivers, because it's pretty easy to pinch the tube and make it leak and make us have to do this job all over again. So sometimes it's better to use an old screwdriver like this one that's kind of rounded off and beat up. There's probably well, there is proper tools for this job that come in bicycle tire repair kits that may have enough strength for these cheap tires, but it may also bend them. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way with a couple of screwdrivers and be really careful, and we'll be okay. Alrighty, and in between it's time to have lunch, so we're cooking our lunch picket line style today, just like we did yesterday. Why not? We got the fire burning anyway. I forgot one important part of this job when you're working with these solid plastic wheels. It gets to be a bugger to get this bead started because you don't have a lot of room to work. Anyway, I even have a tool already made for it. So I'll show you what we got to do. You put this in the vise and then you bolt the wheel down to it. It's almost like putting it on a tire machine. Then that holds it and it makes it a lot easier to work. So let me get that done. Yeah, that's better. We'll have a lot easier time getting this tire on now. Okay, got that done. Now we're going to inflate it and see what happens. This is how you enjoy a nice day outdoors. Next project is my little flea market wagon here. It's gotten caught on something and kind of bent the one back wheel, and she doesn't exactly track straight anymore. So we're going to see if we can take it apart and straighten out the back axle. And while I'm at it, I'll just make sure, you know, all the fasteners are tight and oil up the wheels, and she'll be good to go. Okay, so here's the axle out of it. You can see it's definitely got a bit of a wow in the middle. We're going to take it over to the hydraulic press and straighten it out. Perfect, good like new, ready to go back into service, and we can Drag car parts around swap meet or pull my toolbox around the wreckers. This is good for all of those things. You can put her away. Next job. This is the light above my toolbox. It needs a ballast. It burned out years ago, and there's no way I'm buying a ballast. They used to be cheap. Now they're not. So we're going to pull this down, and I bought a 4-foot fluorescent fixture. We're going to be putting that up in its place. So let's get started. Step 1, I turned the power off, and then using my handy dandy digital multimeter, made sure that it is in fact actually off, which it is. So we can go ahead now and disconnect all the wires and pull the old fixture down. Alrighty, so I got what I need to put in my plug. Got a box, got a duplex receptacle, got a cover plate. So I'll go ahead and get that set up. There we go, ta-da! Now I got to get the light hung up and get her plugged in, and it should work. Perfect, that worked out excellent. I can actually see in my toolbox now. Whoa, look at that! I don't believe it. That's awesome.